Oh, what a touching introduction to this hour. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Notre Dame Day 2015. I'm Tricia Sloma, and you are watching a 29-hour global celebration of all things Notre Dame. And we're going to be here under the dome in our La Fortune Center studio for the next 10 hours. We're not going to be here for all 10 hours. You wouldn't want that, but we invite you to join us for the incredible stories that we have coming up. Now, if you live in the South Bend area and you get up early, you may recognize me from the morning show right here on WNDU TV. That's the NBC affiliate, just in the shadow of the Golden Dome here nearby. For those of you tuning in around the world, that's who I am. Now, this is my co-host. He happens to be the WSBT sports director, Pete Byrne. So thanks for joining me, Pete.
Happy to be here, Tricia. Always fun to work with you. And WSBT is the CBS affiliate here in South Bend. So somewhere we got our wires crossed because we're not supposed to get along this well. We work for rival stations, but it is fun working with you.
It is, and I do get to see Pete from time around town working with different events, and I always enjoy it every time. I would agree about the competition and the rivalry, but I think everything is worth setting aside our differences to be a part of something so special as Notre Dame Day. When we were both we pulled it off last year, of course, we're going to do things even bigger and better this year.
Already doing it bigger and better. I have to agree with you. I mean, no other university in the world does what Notre Dame is doing here today, something this ambitious. 29 straight live hours here online. Again, we're only here for a part of it, but 29 hours. It's an amazing venture that we're undertaking here. We've heard from a best-selling author, Tasha Alexander. Domer parents, John Bon Jovi, perhaps you've heard of him. He's a musician, I believe. Is that right?
I'm familiar with his work.
And also recently, John McHale Jr., Executive Vice President of Major League Baseball. And we continue to bring you the stories of some of the Notre Dame students, performances from students, professors, and alumni all around the world. So it really is a special afternoon.
And the best is still to come. This hour, we are going to talk to Notre Dame Vice President Nicholas Etrican, as well as the Notre Dame professor who co-founded Keurig. We're also going to hear from a Notre Dame professor who is making the world a little smaller with big data. Two students making the world better with big hearts, and a professor who happens to be one of the foremost scholars on the Catholic Church in the world.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to miss a minute of our show throughout the day. And part of the reason that Notre Dame Day viewers get a chance to help the university is by giving away an extra $1 million.
Yeah, I think we have your attention now. It is pretty simple, Pete. Each time you log on to NotreDameDay.nd.edu and donate $10 or more, you'll be able to cast votes for the clubs, residence halls, academic units, and teams of your choice.
Yeah, that's right. And by the end of the broadcast, the more votes a group receives, the bigger the percentage of the $1 million you get. So that way your $10 could potentially turn into $100, maybe even more depending on how the day goes.
I like this, the way it sounds. And Notre Dame Day is a great opportunity to maximize the effect of your giving. So we encourage you to just take a moment, get online and donate. And while you're at it, give a shout out to those donors whose generosity has made this $1 million gift possible.
I just checked in, closing in on 1.4 million donated so far, so it's very, very neat. There really is nothing like Notre Dame Day in the world, Tricia. We're looking forward to seeing how the voting ends up over the next 10 hours, but right now it's time to get this hour started with our first story, which comes from Notre Dame's own Cedar Grove Cemetery, where Notre Dame reporter Laura Thomas is standing by. Hi, Laura, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks, Pete. Yep, like you said, I'm out here at Cedar Grove Cemetery at Notre Dame. It's a cemetery on the corner of Holy Cross Drive and Notre Dame Ave, one that you guys have probably driven past quite a few times but never actually entered. And joining me now is Leon Glahn, the university sexton here at Cedar Grove. Leon, could you tell me what exactly is a sexton and what do you do?
A sexton is in charge of the cemetery. Basically, I'm in charge of lot sales, seeing the graves are open and in time for the service, snow removal, jack of all trades out here.
All right, and when was the cemetery founded?
The cemetery was started, actually the first burial was in October of 1844. So it's been here a long time. It originally was started by Father Soren, and it was a public cemetery. A lot of people don't know that, but the original part of the cemetery was public. In the late 70s, it became a private cemetery, and it's basically open for faculty and staff. In 2007, then, we made it available for alumni. so they're eligible to be buried out here as well.
Awesome. And I have to ask you, is it true that a plot with a view of the dome costs a bit extra?
No, it doesn't. The views here are free. There are some exceptional views, especially from the mausoleums. And it's a very popular. Anything with a view does sell out much faster.
All right, and any recognizable names that our viewers might know that are buried here?
Quite a few. If you're into local history, Alex Coquilliard, the O'Briens, which was O'Brien Paint. If you're a Notre Dame fan, yes, we've got Moose Krause is buried here. Leon Hart is buried just west of us here. Trying to think of Joseph Casantu, who wrote Notre Dame, Our Mother. He's here as well. But we have quite a few local histories. We have a tour. We invite people out about once a year during Alumni Weekend for tours. So it's popular.
All right, and I see those structures back over there, the big, can you talk about those? You said those were built in 2007?
2007, we started with the first phase of Mausolea. Those are what's available to alumni. They're the two buildings, each one holds about 720 bodies or remains, either cremated remains or full body entombments. The above ground option is for alumni or faculty and staff. In 2013, we dedicated 2 more mausoleum because demand was there, and we were actually running out of space. So they've been fairly successful. I would say the number of interments here at the cemetery has gone up easily a third since then, and that is where the view of the dome is most important. Any good alumni will ask if they can see the dome, so that's what they're all after. So and we try to work that out for them. So.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for joining us today, Leon.
You're welcome.
And now back to you in the studio, Pete.
Thank you very much. Nice job. I'm pleased now to be joined here in the studio by Dr. Nick Entrickett, Vice President and Associate Provost for Internationalization here at the University of Notre Dame. Welcome to Notre Dame Day, Nick.
Thank you very much, Pete.
I want to start the conversation by asking you this. Why is it important for universities to have an international presence, and why is Notre Dame particularly well positioned to make that happen?
Well, I think certainly if we start with Notre Dame and its history, the fact that it was founded over 170 years ago by a French priest, already part of an international expansion of universities and of education throughout the world. So we have a history in terms of our international engagement, and as well as we're working as a Catholic university, our mission is very much as that of universal church, and our ability to work internationally, I think, is built into our identity as a university.
As much religious as it is academic.
That's
in that
right.
nature.
That's right. And I think that obviously one of the important goals of any university, and especially this university, is to prepare our students for the world in which they'll live. And I think many in the audience, from their jobs and from their engagement in a number of their interests and activities, will recognize that being globally aware is essential. And there are 2 elements of it that we try and work with. One is the conceptual, which of course universities do all the time, which is to teach students about the world. But the experiential is also very important, and that's why we build our international programs at NDI to give our students the opportunity to not only learn about the world in their classrooms, etc., but also to experience that world in a variety of programs that we offer.
And I know there's a long history of this program here, more than a half century old. I had some friends when I was an undergrad that took a chance to spend a semester abroad. What do you think is the future of this program?
Well, I think that one of the things that we are trying to do, now Notre Dame has always had a very good reputation for sending its students abroad. We rank usually in the top 10 each year among PhD institutions in terms of the number of students we send abroad. So it's over 50%, sometimes up into the 60%. So that's a solid base on which we build. But what we're trying to do now, currently the situation is that students have to compete for positions in study abroad. We would like now to expand our programming so that every student who wants to study abroad and who qualifies on basic levels of qualification can have that opportunity. So that means building new programs and different types of programs. We're building summer programs for our students, which allows those who can't go during the semester. They might have a curriculum that makes it very hard to go. We give them the opportunity to go. We build different kinds of programs that for short-term study, which may be an intersession kind of study. We build programs that offer service learning opportunities, internships. And so we have a variety of new programs now, an intensive language program in Beijing at Peking University. We have an inside track program that sends students to Ireland for several weeks in the summer to learn about business practices, etc. We have a three-continent program that we're opening up in business, the Mendoza College, which will have a cohort of Notre Dame students, Bocconi University students from Milan, and students from National University of Singapore who will spend a semester together at each of those three universities to give them not only a sense of business education in different parts of the world, but also a cohort of people that they're working with. So, and we're also starting a new program for students who have yet to come to Notre Dame. So when they've been accepted, the summer between their acceptance and their fall admittance, we're running 2 seminar programs in our global gateways for those students so they can experience Notre Dame abroad before coming to campus. So these are the kinds of new programs that we're developing that I think are the future of study abroad, to make sure that everyone has the opportunity for that international experience.
It sounds fascinating. I'm very curious to see how this looks another 10, 15 years from now. Dr. Entricken, appreciate your time. Pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a quick break here on Notre Dame Day, but we will be back very shortly. Stay with us.
As a family, we always dreamed of someday owning a home. After years of hard work and sacrifice, our dream came true. But when Hurricane Sandy hit in the fall of 2012, we lost everything. The stress, the uncertainty, the financial pressure, it was all so overwhelming, and we didn't know if we would ever be able to rebuild.
Since 2005, Professor Marianne Casado, a graduate of Notre Dame's School of Architecture, has worked to design innovative housing solutions for victims of natural disasters.
In the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, it became obvious as a nation we were unprepared to meet both the short-term and the long-term needs of those who lost their homes. My goal was to design a solution that was not only fast, affordable, and safe, but one that would also provide people with a beautiful home they would be proud to live in.
Through her Katrina Cottage designs, Casado created a groundbreaking alternative to the FEMA trailer, benefiting over 3,000 families. Now, in partnership with Clayton Homes, she is working to further improve emergency housing through the design of high-quality modular homes, the first of which have been constructed in Union Beach, New Jersey.
Marianne's design not only gives us a new house that we can feel safe in, but also a house that feels like a home.
We're incredibly proud of Marianne's work. It reflects the mission of the School of Architecture to educate students to strive to have a lasting impact on people's lives.
The University of Notre Dame asks, what would you fight for?
Fighting to design a better home.
We are the Fighting Irish.
Okay, I hope you're all watching with a cup of coffee right now, and set that cup of coffee down and pay attention, because our next guest is one of the creators of a product that so many of us know and love, Keurig Coffee. Chris Stevens is a 1974 alum who earned 2 monograms while playing basketball under Coach Digger Phelps, God bless you, and he retired as Vice President of Corporate Relations at Keurig in 2013 to come back to Notre Dame to teach courses at Mendoza's College of Business. He's known by so many of his students as the Coffee Man.
I am the Coffee Man.
You are the Coffee Man, and he's got a great voice, doesn't he? Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Tricia.
All right, let's talk Keurig. Tell me a little bit about your involvement involvement with Keurig.
Well, I met these two gentlemen that had a dream of changing the coffee world one cup at a time. And I'd done some things in the consumer products business, Anheuser-Busch. I was in the beer business. Confucius said, choose a job you love. You never have to work a day in your life. That's
Exactly.
the way it was. But I met these guys. They wanted to change the coffee world, and I thought it was a pretty cool idea. So I came on board, and 19 years ago we started it and actually launched it 17 years ago. And now it's a $5 billion enterprise and doing great.
Oh, incredibly well. And what was your reaction when Keurig really started to become this international craze?
You know, we had a dream. Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can do it. And so our dream was to change the coffee world. We kind of thought, why do we brew coffee a pot at a time when we drink it a cup at a time?
Yeah.
So we could offer variety, freshness, convenience, no waste, no cleanup, and no hassle.
I like this.
So we had a lot of fun with it too. And when it came in and it really started to hit, we thought this really could be big. I think even in our wildest dreams, we didn't realize how big it could be.
Remarkable. What made you want to return to Notre Dame and teach?
Well, Notre Dame gave me so much, having had a chance to play basketball here, but also having a chance to be able to grow in 4 years here with the student body. I had made so many mistakes in my life. I thought maybe I'd try to come back and try to help some of these students not make the same stupid mistakes in life that I did. So I've been thrilled. I've been here 3 years teaching the business school, and it's a real treat. I love my kids. I've got over 200 of them in 3 classes, and each semester is different. Each child's different, too. They're great.
I bet. But are they pitching business models to you all the time? Are they pitching ideas to you?
I
What's
do.
this like?
I do. I actually had an MBA student coming to me with an idea. He found out that 2.1 million dogs have been euthanized annually, and he wanted to try to reduce that. He adopted a dog from a pet shelter, so he started Grounds and Hounds Coffee. And I got him hooked up with a good roaster, and we launched Grounds and Hounds Coffee. 20% of the profits go to local pet refuge shelters like the Pet Refuge here in South Bend to try to be able to save dogs. So every pound saves a hound.
Incredible. You've got the tagline and everything. Well, tell us about what advice you give to anyone who is watching here about their dreams, about making something and making something matter in the world.
Yeah, there's 3 kinds of people in this world. People who make things happen, people who watch things happen, and people who wonder what happened. And what's nice about Notre Dame is we try to create an environment where our students can become whatever they want to become. And they always say, you know, pursue what you love and the happiness will follow. And I try to preach that, and I've had a chance to be able to work now with over 1,000 students, and to see them leave here and go on and want to make a difference. My class last Wednesday just was able to go out on the campus and all around the city and volunteer at the Hannah and Friends shelter, at Real Services and things like that. And these students care. They want to give back, and Notre Dame gives them the opportunity to do that.
Those are the kind of kids we want in this world,
That's
for
right.
sure. Okay, tell me your favorite cup of coffee, and then I want you to explain what you're holding in your hand right now.
Okay. I like all kinds of coffee.
Oh, come on. You got to have a favorite.
Come on, man. Different beans for different genes.
Oh, come on.
But I like a good dark roasted coffee.
Yeah.
I like to drink my coffee with a fork. So I like really bold, nice coffees. And then I stumbled across these fellows. They, you know, coffee doesn't have a lot of vitamins or minerals. It has nothing in it.
Right.
So you tear this off, you pour it in, you get 15 essential vitamins and minerals. It's called VitaPerk, www.vitaperk.com.
I love
and
it.
VitaPerk is makes your coffee, turns it into a healthy beverage. 15 essential vitamins and minerals. Can't taste it, can't touch it, can't see it, no residue, and
Is
it's
this
great.
something new? Is
Yeah,
this all
just
brand
launching.
new?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
just
great.
launching.
It is.
All
We're going
right.
to take good care of you, Tricia.
Okay, look out. This whole Notre Dame day, I'll be ready for 29 more hours, right? Chris Stevens, thank you so much. So
What a
nice
pleasure.
to meet you.
Thank you, and thank you for everybody who's been contributing, and
Oh,
it's been a
absolutely.
really successful day, and I'm just privileged to be a part of it, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, the hero to coffee drinkers around the world. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tricia.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Coming up after the short break, Pete's going to catch up with a Notre Dame professor who's trying to change the world by changing how we see data. Don't miss it. We'll be right back.
Every kid here remembers that day. It's the day their lives changed. That day for me happened when I was 10 years old. My father was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Because of his radiation treatment, he was secluded to his room, which meant no hugs, no kisses goodnight. The fear of growing up without your dad is overwhelming. While I know that sharing my experience can help, these kids need more than that. They need solutions.
Prostate cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death in American men.
What happens next?
Through the creation of vaccines harvested from tumors, University of Notre Dame professor Mark Succo is working to improve prostate cancer treatment.
Although most cancers are complex mixtures of cells and molecules, many treatments aim at only a single target. By using a patient's own tumor and creating a vaccine, we have developed a method that provides the immune system with much more comprehensive information to attack the cancer.
Professor Succo's innovative, targeted approach is so important because it could transform how we treat prostate cancer and save hundreds of thousands of lives.
On the final day here at Camp Kesem, all the campers and counselors light a small candle. We call it a wish. All the wishes are placed into small boats, and we put them in the water. I'm lucky because I don't have to wish for my dad's recovery. He's alive and healthy today. And I hope that through the research of Professor Succo, kids everywhere can be just as lucky.
The University of Notre Dame asks, what would you fight for?
Fighting to cure prostate cancer.
We are the Fighting Irish.
An Irish blessing. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.
We are the University of Notre Dame.
And welcome back to Notre Dame Day. I'm Pete Byrne, and I'm joined now here in the studio by Professor Nitesh Chawla, Director of the Interdisciplinary Center for Network Science and Applications, iCensa for short. You definitely need a shorthand for that. You're a professor in the Computer College of Science and Engineering here. First of all, I'd like to welcome you to Notre Dame Day.
Thank you very much, Pete. Thank you.
We've heard this term big data thrown around a lot lately in the media, particularly the last several years. If you could, in a nutshell, explain what big data is.
So, in a nutshell, essentially 90% of the data that we have in the world today has been produced in the last couple of years. So, and with the proliferation of social media, social networks, healthcare, financial institutions, so all the structured, unstructured data that's being generated, where we are contributing to the data via tweets or Facebooks, I wonder the amount of data we have created as part of ND Day.
No doubt.
So that in itself is a great example of big data.
We'll have to check the social media center later to see if we can get that,
Absolutely.
that answer for you. Many folks appear to think of big data as a sort of unknowable mass of information, or that companies are storing information about them, but I understand that you have a much different perspective on this.
Yes, so the way we look at big data, our mission is big data for the common good. So how can we leverage big data to make a difference to society, whether it's in healthcare, making a difference to our population health management systems, making a difference on personalized healthcare, education, how can we leverage data to identify what may be early warning indicators for students struggling in high schools or middle schools, and what difference we can make. Environmental sciences, whether understanding the spread of invasive species or climate change adaptation. So we try to leverage data to solve big problems that make a difference to society, versus worrying about, let's use data for a direct marketing platform or getting you a better product somewhere. Here, let's use data to make a difference to somebody's life.
We mentioned the nickname iCensa. You've got it on your shirt here. Tell us more about that.
So iCensa is where we collaborate, we are creative, we are innovative, it's inclusive, very multidisciplinary. Our view is, while we are data-driven, we are very problem-driven as well. And our view is problems don't come and say, I'm a computer science problem per se, or I'm a physics problem, I'm a mathematics problem, sociology problem. Problem statements require different faculties of mind coming together. So that's what iCensa is all about, how we can bring different disciplines together to solve some of the grand challenges, whether it's a sociologist working with a computer scientist or an anthropologist working with a physicist. How do we bring creativity by connecting dots together?
So if I were to ask you, what is the impact of iCensa research today locally? What would you say?
So iCensa research locally has had a significant impact. We are working with area hospitals, community clinic, high schools, middle schools, on the areas of health and wellness, for example. We are working with them on learning analytics, for example. So we have truly, as I like to say, taken on the last mile challenge, where we say, okay, we have done this innovation, we have this creativity in our science and algorithms and our engineering approaches. How do we now bridge the last mile to make a difference to the community? And to do that, we are working with hospitals, clinics, and high schools in the region.
Awesome. Well, it's fascinating stuff, Dr. Chell. I want to
thank you very much
for your time
appreciate
here.
it.
Thank you for joining us on Notre Dame Day.
Thank you.
We got to take a quick break here, but we will be back with more from Notre Dame Day right after this.
There is a place where people fight for what they believe in, teaching those who want to change the world, strengthening the weak in faraway lands, bringing hope where miracles are needed, offering ethical leadership and a commitment to research, service, and social justice. The place where they fight is the University of Notre Dame.
We are.
We are.
We are the Fighting Irish.
The world needs a university that educates men and women who accept their responsibility to serve others. We will strive to build a community where education, inquiry, and faith combine to respond to the demands of justice. This is our goal. Let no one ever say that we dreamed too small.
Welcome back, everyone. Joining me now in the studio are Greg Bourdon and Alexis Pala. They're seniors at Notre Dame, and they're here to talk about Best Buddies. It's an international organization that matches college students with people in the community with developmental disabilities. The Notre Dame chapter works closely with Logan Center in South Bend. Welcome to the show, both Greg and Alexis. Nice to meet you both.
Thanks for having us on.
Let's start off with a very easy question. What dorm do you belong to, and what are you studying?
So I lived for 3 years in Zom Hall on campus. I'm currently off campus, and I'm a finance major.
Excellent. And you?
I'm an anthropology major with a theology minor, and I lived in Welsh Family Hall here on campus.
Well, and if people are tuning in, you are from Maryland and you are from Texas, so we welcome you here. And welcome to Notre Dame Day. So Greg, let's start with you. How did you get involved with Best Buddies?
Well, I actually have an older brother with Down syndrome, so he had been involved sort of on the other side of things. And then I got involved in high school and came here. They had a great program, so I just wanted to continue staying involved.
How remarkable. And you must find it incredibly inspiring.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
All right. And Alexis, I'm told that you recently organized a fashion show for buddies at the Morris Inn. How did that go?
It went phenomenally. It was extremely fun. And it was a great way that we brought together the South Bend community with the Notre Dame community. We actually had over 300 people in attendance. We had over 10 sponsors from the local community. Macy's outfitted our men, and a couple local boutiques outfitted the children and the women who participated in the show as well.
Well, and I know we have such a generous community. People are willing to step up and help out. So how did you come up with the idea?
So originally, after my freshman year, I had worked in Madrid with Best Buddies, and they had inspired me to bring this fashion show to my campus back home because they were really successful and had successfully spread awareness and raised money for their chapter of Best Buddies by putting on a fashion show within their local community. So I felt inspired to bring it and incorporate it back on Notre Dame's campus.
Well, you've done a lot for the community, and Greg, you as well. I know your family must be quite proud.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. They actually, 2 years ago, we were running our concession stand, which is a big fundraiser for us.
Sure.
And my dad and brother actually came out and helped out. It was the BYU game, so it was kind of cold, but they were glad to get involved and sort of give back to our community here.
And I bet your brother is really proud of you too.
Oh, absolutely. He's texts me every day, waiting to come out for graduation.
How special. Well, good luck to both of you, and congratulations on all your hard work with Best Buddies. Thank you both.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for being a part of this show, too. Notre Dame Day is going to continue right after the break. We're going to hear from Mara Orster, who is an alumna from a company who hires more Notre Dame Arts and Letters grads than any other. We'll be right back.
As a family, we always dreamed of someday owning a home. After years of hard work and sacrifice, our dream came true. But when Hurricane Sandy hit in the fall of 2012, we lost everything. The stress, the uncertainty, the financial pressure, it was all so overwhelming, and we didn't know if we would ever be able to rebuild.
Since 2005, Professor Marianne Casado, a graduate of Notre Dame's School of Architecture, has worked to design innovative housing solutions for victims of natural disasters.
In the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, it became obvious as a nation we were unprepared to meet both the short-term and the long-term needs of those who lost their homes. My goal was to design a solution that was not only fast, affordable, and safe, but one that would also provide people with a beautiful home they would be proud to live in.
Through her Katrina Cottage designs, Casado created a groundbreaking alternative to the FEMA trailer, benefiting over 3,000 families. Now, in partnership with Clayton Homes, she is working to further improve emergency housing through the design of high-quality modular homes, the first of which have been constructed in Union Beach, New Jersey.
Marianne's design not only gives us a new house that we can feel safe in, but also a house that feels like a home.
We're incredibly proud of Marianne's work. It reflects the mission of the School of Architecture to educate students to strive to have a lasting impact on people's lives.
The University of Notre Dame asks, what would you fight for?
Fighting to design a better home.
We are the Fighting Irish.
Welcome back to Notre Dame Day. I'm Pete Byrne, and joining me now from Madison, Wisconsin is Mara Oyster, the recruiting manager at Epic Systems, a healthcare software company whose software is used in the care of roughly 54% of all the patients treated here in the United States. Welcome to the show, Mara. Glad to hear from you here on Notre Dame Day.
Thanks, I'm glad to be here.
Now, over the last 3 years, I'm told that Epic has hired 55 students from Notre Dame's College of Arts and Letters alone. Why is the software company hiring so many liberal arts majors from Notre Dame?
Well, we do hire from virtually every major. For less technical positions, we prefer to hire smart people with the capacity to learn new skills who already have solid interpersonal skills, and that's where arts and letters students thrive. They learn how to communicate, how to present, how to think, and we find those skills are much more difficult to teach than subject matter knowledge. One fun example, one of my friends here at Epic is a corporate trainer. She graduated from Notre Dame with a degree in Italian and Chinese. But what makes her successful as a trainer is her personality. She can light up a room, and she loves engaging with people.
Excellent. Now, hiring employees, as you know, is a two-way street. Candidates have to like your company as much as you like them. So what makes your company so attractive for Notre Dame students?
I think the fact that we are a mission-focused company is a huge attraction. Working in healthcare, we look for candidates that are passionate about making a difference. And I know for me, that was the single most important factor as I was considering Epic. I wanted a career that was going to continue to build on the type of community service-oriented life that I was leading. We also find that the best employees want to be challenged. So we give our employees ownership over projects and customer relationships early in their careers. I've been with Epic 10 years, never been bored, which was important for me. And then we do have a unique corporate culture. All of our staff are based in our headquarters here in Madison, and we've invested in a campus here that we feel gives our employees the space needed to do their best work. It's creative, it's collaborative, and it's a fun place to come to work every day.
I think that all of us in the workforce can appreciate that. Mara, I understand you're a dormer as well?
I am, yes.
You graduated in 04, I see. Tell us, what dorm did you live in and what did you study?
I was one of those arts and letters grads. I studied political science and Spanish, and I lived in Lewis Hall.
Very good. I'm a 99 grad, lived in Soren, so we come from the same path, so to speak. I want to ask you this, as the recruiting manager, can you give some advice to our viewers and to the potential upper class seniors and juniors here on putting together resumes and what they might do to be attractive to a company, either your company or a company like yours?
Sure. No, I'm so glad you asked. I've reviewed thousands of resumes, and I've seen some really good ones and some not so good ones. So your resume should highlight the most significant accomplishments of your career. And it's really best to avoid the temptation to list every single accomplishment you've had, no matter how minor. I feel like that's the biggest mistake that most job seekers make. When your resume becomes too wordy, those significant accomplishments get drowned out by the more minor ones. So no matter how experienced you are, I always tell folks it is best to keep your resume to 1 or 2 pages max. And that shows that you know how to succinctly summarize the most relevant material.
So the less is more theory is what you would subscribe to. And certainly I would imagine that that's something that most Notre Dame undergraduates, as accomplished as they tend to be, would have no problem doing if they were to take that advice.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, Mara, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedule today to help us celebrate Notre Dame Day here. It was a pleasure visiting with you.
Absolutely. Have a good day.
Thank you. You do the same, Laura. Next, we have Laura visiting the bookstore basketball courts to see how Notre Dame's global initiative for global development is being celebrated today. Hi, Laura. How are you?
Thanks, guys. I'm out here at the bookstore basketball courts with Michael Swiker, the managing director for Notre Dame's Initiative for Global Development. Michael, can you start by giving us an overview of what exactly the Initiative for Global Development is?
Sure. We bring together faculty and student teams to work on global development challenges all over. We help address people in communities where people have needs or are impoverished around the world. We do this in a multidisciplinary way, so we're combining expertise from business, global health, engineering, and other topical areas to help address some of these challenges. We also are very focused on evaluating the impact that we have in these types of interventions around the world. And we have done different projects around the world in places like Nepal, Haiti, Indonesia. And we have, for instance, a solar project in Uganda, which we've started, that we are providing solar power, internet connectivity, and entrepreneurial training in sites throughout northern Uganda, and are partnered with a company, Accenture, which has been key to this whole effort. We have well projects in West Africa, and what's really exciting is that we're soon going to be an integral part of the new Keough School for Global Development. So we've been working with Dean Scott Appleby on that, and we're going to provide opportunities for not just an education in the Keough School that will train future global development practitioners, but also opportunities where those students and faculty can help address these issues while they're in the Keough School.
Awesome. And I was under the impression that the IGD was over in Grace Hall. So what are we doing over here on the other side of campus?
So today we're trying to bring our work from around the world right here to campus. And I was actually speaking with former Notre Dame women's basketball player Ruth Riley several months ago, and she was the one who came up with an idea for a campus-wide global development challenge. So we have 6 stations all across campus that have different challenge events, and what our real goal is to try to bring an awareness to campus and educate people about some of these issues that people are facing in developing countries. So students, faculty, and staff can sign up in teams of 4, or they can compete as an individual, and they can also compete for their dorm. And we have some great prizes. So for instance, one of the prizes is actually a dinner or 3-on-3 basketball with Ruth Riley.
Wow.
If I were you, I would think twice about playing 3-on-3 basketball, though, with Ruth Riley, because she's pretty good.
Yeah, that was definitely one of my idols growing up, so I think I would like that prize. But so can you explain this challenge going on right here, the Nothing But Net Challenge?
Sure. The Nothing But Nets Challenge involves a combination of malaria bed nets and basketball. So what we do is have participants shoot baskets, but they have to get nothing but net, and they get different points for getting swishes and not hitting the rim. After the challenge, they then go to an actual malaria bed net and take their photo under the net, and they tweet that photo to NDIGD.
Awesome. Okay, and so this competition's been going on for a few hours now. What is the score to beat?
Right now, the top score in Nothing But Nets Challenge is 10. I have heard, though, that the scores are not too high in the Geography Challenge, where students and participants get clues on what country IGD is working in, and they're supposed to find the country. So I think there's some improvement left to be done before 6:30 p.m. tonight.
All right, thank you, Michael. And where can viewers go to find out more about this?
Viewers can go to NotreDameDay.nd.edu/NDIGD to find out more about the Initiative for Global Development. If you're on campus, the challenge is still going on till 6:30 p.m., so please come by and participate. And if you're online voting, please vote for NDIGD.
All right, thank you so much for being here, and back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Laura, thank you so much. I am pleased to be joined now by Dr. John Cavadini, the director of the Institute for Church Life and an advisor to the Vatican and to U.S. bishops. In addition to his many publications, accolades, and awards, Dr. Cavadini was also named a member of the Equestrian Order of St. Gregory the Great by Pope Benedict. What an honor. Dr. Cavadini, welcome to Notre Dame Day.
Thank you so much.
Let's start with this important question. How does the Institute for Church Life engage and enrich the church?
Sure. The Institute for Church Life is an outreach function of the University of Notre Dame, so outreach to the church from the university. And all of our programming, you could say, is kind of like training and supporting church leadership, or renewing and supporting church leadership. And the context of that really is our own day, when so many people seem to leave the church, and so many young people seem to leave the church, and they seem to leave it with so little regret, almost like taking off a shoe. And I wonder why that is. I thought a lot about it. I think that young people, for example, tend to reduce the church to less than the sum of its disputes. And so they don't have the kind of glue that would help them stay in the church. The university can provide a sense of the intellectual credibility of the church's positions, but more even than that, it has resources for helping people to see what are the most grand themes, the most compelling themes, the most beautiful mysteries that the church promotes and that the church teaches. These are the things that fill people's imagination. And when people's imagination are filled, that's the kind of glue that keeps you in the church, that at least would make you leave with regret, but I hope not leave.
Well, right. And Dr. Cavadini, it's an energy, it's a passion that you're igniting within that individual. And
yes.
Hopefully that will keep them engaged, right?
Yes, and what our programs do is we try to train people to know how to do this for other people.
Right.
So that we have programming all the way from high school students all the way up to the bishops themselves. And our whole idea is to give people the resources and the formation so that they can release the intellectual and the imaginative capital of the church that would help lodge all these beautiful things in people's hearts, and hopefully help them to stay.
Well, let's get specific, though, about one of the programs. You
Sure.
have a program called ECHO. What does that stand for? What does it mean?
Okay, ECHO, the Greek word catechesis actually means echo. And so it's an echo of your first proclamation or formation. The ECHO program is a program that trains catechetical leaders. So we take young graduates of Notre Dame or other institutions, and we give them a formation in Catholic teaching and in pastoral ministry. We give them lots of hands-on experience and in actual parish experience. And so we hope that they will be people who can train the trainers. There's loads of volunteer catechists in parishes who have a lot of goodwill, but not a lot of knowledge. And we hope that ECHO program puts out graduates who can be directors of religious education in parishes and train those trainers. So it has a multiplier effect.
Well, let's talk about other needs of the church today. How is the Institute for Church Life helping to address it?
Basically, there are a lot of educational needs in the church, and we try to support those. For example, we have an online theological learning program called STEP, and parishes and dioceses can take these courses and use them in their own programming, so that we don't replace courses, but we help build up the church's own programming. There's a big need for continuing an education of priests in our church, and we're beginning to work out programming that we hope will bear a lot of fruit in summer workshops for priests who can come and learn. Again, we try to train the trainers. So who are the leader priests in a diocese who can come and learn how to mount continuing educational programs in their own parish, and then leverage our effect that way.
It's really working towards your mission, isn't it?
We hope so.
Oh, well, I hope the best for you and your programs.
Thank
it's
you
a
so much.
wonderful and important part of Catholic life. Thank you so much for being a part of Notre Dame Day, Dr. Cavadini.
You're welcome, and thank you for having me.
Well, we've enjoyed our time together. So let's check in on the social media lounge once again to see how voting is going. This is an important part of Notre Dame Day. Guys,
Thanks so much, Tricia. We're back here in the social media lounge here on the first floor of La Fortune. Thanks again to everyone who has participated so far in Notre Dame Day. As you can see, we're over 11,000 gifts at this point. A tremendous effort by the Notre Dame family. Congratulations to all of you for making this day a tremendous success. Your gifts, your votes are going to the areas at Notre Dame that you love the most, that you feel Notre Dame is best at, in order to help distribute our $1 million challenge fund. The top of the leaderboard, it's a tale of three at this point. The Frisbee Club. They've been on top since the start. They have yet to be dethroned, although the Glee Club has come so close. Right now, it's 1764 versus 1722. The Glee Club's come very close, neck and neck. At this point, though, Frisbee is still on top. So all those Glee Club members, the time has come. Get out there, keep rallying the votes. And hey, it's going to be a horse race to the end. St. Edward's Hall, too, from a residence hall standpoint, has been so strong, hanging in there with Frisbee and the Glee Club with 1,300 votes. They still have a huge opportunity here to make an impact and capture. At this point, they're over $30,000 for their residence hall. The strategy at this point needs to be finding people to make their first gift, because your first gift gets you 5 votes. It could be $10, it could be $1,000, 5 votes. Subsequent gifts only get you 1 vote. And so the key is to find aunts and uncles, friends, neighbors, relatives, people that you know would respond to the things that you also believe in at Notre Dame, whether it's the student experience through residence halls, whether it's the great work that Notre Dame does in the world through our centers and institutes like the Center for Social Concerns, or whether it's through local communities through your Notre Dame Club and its local club scholarship. Find those people, get them to make their first gift, get them to cast all 5 of their votes for that first gift, and that'll help move things up the leaderboard. Now, I know my esteemed colleague, Craig Horvath, he's got a very special guest over in his area of the lounge. Craig?
Thanks, Jonathan. It's my unique good fortune to introduce you to Adam Karajan, a senior finance major from St. Cloud, Minnesota, a proud member of Father Ralph Haig's St. Edward's Hall. This is a remarkable young man who's going to tell us about a terrific student group called Super Sibs. So tell us a little about Super Sibs, Adam.
Absolutely. Super Sibs is one of the more unique clubs here on campus. We take Notre Dame and St. Mary's students who have siblings with severe mental and physical disabilities. I myself have 2 brothers with severe autism. And we work with children in the South Bend, Michiana area who also have siblings with disabilities. So these children themselves do not have disabilities, but their siblings do. And so it's a great mentorship opportunity for us to provide a community of understanding some of the quirks that come up with growing up in a home with disabled siblings.
And how many Notre Dame undergraduates, male and female, participate?
Well, it's a small club, about 10 to 15 students on a given night, and about 20 children from the South Bend area. As you can imagine, it's a pretty unique qualification to be in our club. So we'd love to expand. We'd love to get more publicity, but it's kind of a high threshold.
And can you vote for Super Sibs today on Notre Dame Day 2015?
You absolutely can, and I'd absolutely love it if you did, and the kids next year would absolutely love it if you did. So please go vote for Super Sibs on NotreDameDay.nd.edu. We'd really appreciate your support.
Anything else you want to give a shout out to St. Edward's Hall? I think you guys are in 3rd place right now.
Oh, absolutely. I love St. Edward's Hall. Father Ralph Haig is, I believe, hands down the best rector on campus. We have a real gem in him, and he's done a great job to rally the troops. And I'd also really like to encourage the momentum that St. Edward's Hall has.
And here's Adam, just one of our many Notre Dame students that's going out and taking Father Soren's words to make Notre Dame a force for good and making it real in his life and in this world and doing a terrific job. So vote for Super Sibs, and thank you, Adam. Keep up the good work.